$1.7 trillion. That's trillion, with a T. That's more than the entire GDP of Russia, more than the annual budget of most countries on Earth. Enough money to give every American $5,000 in cash. And the United States Department of Defense spent it on a single weapons program that, for over 2 decades, was plagued by delays, cost overruns, technical failures, and performance problems so severe that some experts called it the greatest waste of taxpayer money in American history. But here's the twist. Today, that same program is being hailed as a game changer, a revolutionary platform that's reshaping air combat, the fighter jet that every ally wants and every adversary fears. So what happened? How did America's most expensive military mistake become one of its greatest assets? And what did we learn from nearly destroying our air superiority in the process? Welcome to Armed Insight. Today, we're breaking down the F-35 Lightning II Joint Strike Fighter, the most controversial, most expensive, and most ambitious military program ever attempted. From congressional investigations to near cancellation, from software bugs to engine fires, this is the story of how the Pentagon bet everything on a single jet and almost lost. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the F-35 cost so much, why it struggled for so long, how it turned around, and what lessons the military learned that will shape defense acquisition for decades to come. This is the truth about America's $1.7 trillion gamble. Let's dive in. The F-35 story begins in the 1990s with a simple, seductive idea. What if we could build one aircraft that could do everything? The Pentagon had a problem. The Air Force was flying aging F-16S. The Navy was operating aging F/A-18S. The Marine Corps was stuck with aging Harriers. Every branch needed new fighters, but developing 3 separate aircraft would cost hundreds of billions. So in 1996, the Department of Defense launched the Joint Strike Fighter program with an ambitious vision. Design one aircraft with 3 variants that could replace fighters across all services. The Air Force would get the F-35A, a conventional takeoff and landing version. The Navy would get the F-35C, with reinforced landing gear, a larger wing, and a tailhook for carrier operations. The Marine Corps would get the F-35B, with a revolutionary short takeoff and vertical landing capability, allowing it to operate from amphibious assault ships and forward bases. One basic design, 3 variants, shared parts, shared training, shared logistics. The cost savings would be enormous. Allies around the world would buy it, spreading development costs even further. And it wouldn't just be any fighter. It would be a 5th-generation stealth aircraft packed with the most advanced sensors, avionics, and weapons systems ever created. It would see enemies before they saw it, share data with every friendly unit in real time, dominate air-to-air combat, and deliver precision strikes against ground targets. It would be the F-22 Raptor's versatile younger brother, cheaper to build and maintain, capable of doing jobs the F-22 couldn't. In 2001, Lockheed Martin won the contract over Boeing. The X-35 prototype had demonstrated its capabilities, including successful vertical landings. The program was projected to cost about $200 billion total. The first operational aircraft would enter service by 2010. Pentagon officials were ecstatic. Defense contractors were thrilled. Allies lined up to participate. 9 countries joined as development partners. The UK, Italy, Netherlands, Turkey, Canada, Australia, Norway, Denmark, and later Israel and Japan signed on as buyers. It was going to be the most successful military aircraft program in history, producing over 3,000 jets for the US and Allied forces. What could go wrong? Everything. The problems started early and snowballed fast. First problem, concurrency. The Pentagon decided to begin production before testing was complete. This is called concurrent development, and it's a terrible idea. The logic was to get jets into service faster and keep production lines moving. The reality was building hundreds of aircraft that would need massive, expensive retrofits once testing revealed flaws. And boy, were there flaws. The F-35B, the Marine Corps variant, was the most troubled. The vertical landing system required a massive lift fan behind the cockpit and a thrust vectoring nozzle on the engine. The engineering was insanely complex. The jet was overweight, reducing its payload and range. The lift fan took up space that could have been used for fuel or weapons. In 2011, the entire F-35B variant was placed on probationary status, meaning it was at risk of cancellation. Engineers had to redesign major components to shed weight. It was a nightmare. The software was even worse. The F-35's avionics run on over 8 million lines of code, making it one of the most complex software systems ever created. That software had to integrate sensors, weapons, flight controls, communications, and data sharing across all three variants. It didn't work. Early versions crashed constantly. Sensors failed. The helmet-mounted display, which was supposed to give pilots 360-degree awareness, had glitches, latency issues, and was physically uncomfortable. Some pilots reported neck strain from the weight. The radar had problems detecting targets. The data fusion system, which combines inputs from multiple sensors, was unreliable. The jet couldn't fire its gun properly. Yes, the gun. For years, the F-35A's internal cannon couldn't hit targets accurately because the software wasn't ready. Then came the engine fires. In 2014, an F-35 caught fire on the runway at Eglin Air Force Base. The cause was a faulty engine fan blade. The entire fleet was grounded while engineers investigated. It took months to fix. The cost exploded. That initial $200 billion estimate, it doubled, then tripled. By 2015, the total lifetime cost of the F-35 program was projected at $1.5 trillion, making it the most expensive weapons program in history. Unit costs ballooned. Early F-35s were costing over $220 million per jet. That's more than an F-22 Raptor, the most advanced air superiority fighter ever built. How could a jet designed to be affordable cost more than the premium option? Congress was furious. Senator John McCain called it a scandal and a tragedy. The Government Accountability Office issued scathing reports. Defense analysts questioned whether the program should be canceled entirely. Then there were the performance issues. Early F-35s struggled in dogfights against older F-16 in testing. Critics pounced. If a brand new stealth fighter can't beat a 40-year-old jet in a turning fight, what's the point? The Pentagon's response was that the F-35 wasn't designed for close-range dogfights. Its stealth and sensors meant it would kill enemies before they got close. But that answer didn't satisfy critics who pointed out that stealth doesn't work in every scenario, especially in dense electronic warfare environments. Allies started getting nervous. Canada delayed its order. Australia questioned its commitment. Some countries reduced their orders or looked at alternatives like the F/A-18 Super Hornet or European fighters. By 2015, the F-35 program was in crisis. It was over budget, behind schedule, underperforming, and facing potential cancellation. It looked like the biggest military acquisition disaster in American history. And then, something changed. Around 2016, the F-35 program hit a turning point. The chaos started to stabilize, the jet started to work, and the military started to understand what they actually had. First, the software matured. Block 3F, the first combat-capable software, was delivered in 2017. Suddenly, the sensors worked, the data fusion worked, the helmet display worked. Pilots who had been skeptical started praising the jet. Thanks for watching Armed Insight. If this deep dive into the F-35's rocky journey gave you a new perspective on military acquisition and the cost of cutting-edge technology, hit that like button and subscribe. We break down the weapons, the programs, and the lessons that define modern defense. What should we cover next? The B-21 Raider? The Zumwalt destroyer disaster? America's next fighter jet? Drop your suggestions in the comments. Until next time, stay informed, stay powerful, and remember, even the biggest mistakes can become victories if you learn from them.